Thank you very much. Can we give Sam and his team a big clap for putting on this event? Just stay standing for a minute. Clap real loud. You guys, it's not easy to put these events on. Let's have everybody stand for a minute. Because I think we're in a moment in time where we all need each other. We're in the midst of a world pandemic. And to think that we have Jesse Itzler coming up in a little while. Could you give Jesse a big clap? Could you give Jim Quick a big clap? Come on, people. And all the speakers that we had yesterday, how many of you learned a lot so far? And what I like to say is that sometimes we are one conversation away from a break. And how many of you expect that this year could be different than any year you've had in the past? Go and just clap real loud if you believe that that could happen. So, if you could put my timer up, I'm gonna go less than the amount of time that they give me. That's just kind of my style. And I'm here because I care. And so it's not just a talk or a speech. I've been doing this since I was 20. I'm 61 now. And so I'm coming with something, like a message. And so just please try to give me your undivided attention for a short time, because I'm going to take you on a journey. Clap your hands if you're ready for me. Let's go. You may be seated. There was a man by the name of Walt Disney, and he walked into an amusement park, and he said, someday, and I actually want you to say that word, say someday. He said, someday I'm gonna build my own amusement park, but mine's gonna be different. Say that word, say different. He said, mine's gonna be better, say better. And then he said, mine's gonna be, watch, more magical. Say more magical. So Walt Disney walks into this amusement park and he says to his friend, I'm gonna build my own someday, but mine's gonna be different, better, more magical. When I go speak in these countries, I'm a humanitarian. Since I was 20, I have a doctorate in world religion, and I wanted to be a cool Mother Teresa, and that's what I became. But when I go to South Africa and I ask the little kids, I say, what do you want to be when you get older? They're like 5 and 6 and they live in the ghetto. They'll say things like, LeBron James. I'm like, yo, I didn't even know they knew who LeBron James is. A little girl might say, I'm going to be Beyonce. And then a little boy will say, I'm going to be the president. Or a little girl will say, I'm a queen. Not one of them says, I'm going to be broke. I'm going to be po. I'm going to be divorced 7 times. So what I've found is that when we're little and you have innocence, you think different, better, more magical. Try that. Say different, better, more magical. The word magical, do not be afraid of that word. It simply means extraordinary. It means uncommon. It says, it means unusual. It means at a higher level. When I was a kid, I was born and raised in a place called Compton, California, which I'm proud of. It's the home of Dr. Dre. It's the home of my good friend Kendrick Lamar. It's the home of my friends Venus and Serena Williams. I'm proud to be out of Compton, California, but we were raised in a lower income family. I am Spanish and black. My mother is Vicentita Gonzalez. She speaks very broken English to this day. She had a 6th grade education. My father had a 10th grade education. But we had 7 people in a 2-bedroom apartment. I want you to visualize this. It's called cramped. And then we had a Volkswagen that was used. We didn't even have the bus. We had the regular Volkswagen. And we used to drive around with 7 people. That's called illegal. So how would a kid from Compton who was confined, watch, and living in this situation where things did not look good. So I have a new book with HarperCollins that is doing quite well. Some of you heard this, that Grant Cardone threw a clubhouse party for me, and we sold 21,000 books in one night on Clubhouse. And that was a pretty good start. But in this book, it's called A Miracle Mentality, and the whole idea is that some people, they live a mundane life. Who's ever been around somebody, their life is just so mundane, so regular? Has anybody been driving with somebody on the freeway, they're so mundane, you just want to jump out of the car? Come on, people. You're like, I'm all right, I'll just tuck and roll. So some people live what I call mundane. Some people live in the messy. And let's talk about that for a second. If you're not careful, life can get real messy. Just please lift your hands if that makes sense, okay? Your apartment could get messy. Your house could get messy. Your car could get messy. Your relationships could get messy. And what I find is that so many people are dealing with their mess that they forget about the miracles or the magic. Watch how powerful this is. So you have the mundane, you have the messy, but then, man, pandemic. I just was in Spain talking. I was in Athens, Greece talking. And I was in London, England talking last month. It's crazy, people. Whether you want to think it's real or not, there's something going on out there. And so a lot of people have gone into the madness, the chaotic. And some of you were raised in a lot of drama. And if there was not drama, your mother created it. Or if there was not drama, your father created it. If there was not drama, you created it. But I believe that you can have a miracle lifestyle. Somebody clap your hands if you believe that that's possible. Come on, clap real loud like you think it's... I want to get you to the point where you believe in miracles, and then you expect miracles. And then you receive miracles, and then you become a miracle, and then you release miracles. Let's try that. Say, believe, expect, receive, become, release. But what's going to happen to your life is on your way to different, better, more magical, you're going to have what I call, and this is 20 years of research, a life interruption. For me, I was 10 years of age, and my father, who was super cool, he was tall, very handsome guy. It was before DoorDash, and my mother was hungry, and so he went to a restaurant to get my mother food, and he never came back because he was going through a green light, and a police officer who was on duty was not paying attention, no siren, ran a red light and hit him straight on, and my father died. So we had 5 children, and we were already lower income people. We have 5 children, and we were already kind of in a setback. You don't need the father taken out. It doesn't look like I'm going to live this magical life coach to the stars. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. It looks like I'm going to be stuck somehow in the mess or in the madness. So my father dies, and something happens that I never had to face in my life, and that was to hear my mother cry. Because my mother, Vicentita Gonzalez, she is tough. How many people that have a little bit of Latin in you? Just lift your hands. So you guys have heard of the chancla. The chancla is when a Latin woman wants to set their kids straight. Just look at me. So they take off their shoe. Man, my mom, bam, she would pop you. My mother was a very tough lady, and she used to always say to us, don't do a half half-way job. Don't do a half-way job. My mother was very tough. I never saw my mother show emotion. My mother never hugged me my entire childhood. Never hugged me one time my entire childhood. I promise you before God. She was tough, but now she didn't know we could hear, but me and my brother Randy could hear her crying. But she was crying because the man that she loved was taken, and he died, and there was a life interruption. And I remember telling my brother Randy, I go, how many days do you think she'll cry? Because I was only 10. And he goes, I don't know, but I hope she stops. Because it was like a certain sound that was like a sad sound. So that was called a life interruption. So the more I go around talking about this, the more I find out that all of you have been through something. Lift your hands if you've been through some kind of life interruption. It could be you were molested. It could be they found out you had lupus. It could be that they found out that you had a blood disease. It could be that you had some kind of deformity, some kind of challenge, some kind of learning disorder, but you had this life interruption. When most people have a life interruption, watch, they have a setback. And then they have another life interruption. Watch me. And then they have a setback, and then they take a step back, and they have a setback, and then they take a step back, and they have a setback, and then they take a step back. And most people, when they have a life interruption, they sit in the setback. Let's try that. Say sit. They settle. Say settle. And the third thing they do, watch, which I could have done, I could have cemented myself in the setback. Well, you could say, well, I'm a felon, and I got to write down felon every time I get a job. You could cement yourself in the setback. Or I'm a black man in a white man's world. You could cement yourself in a setback. Or this man broke my heart. You can cement yourself in a setback. But I believe that while you're feeling the sting of your setback, that God is preparing your comeback. Whether you like it or not, you're about to have the most amazing year you ever had in your life. It's time for your comeback. Somebody clap like it's time for your comeback. Come on, bring it out of me like they do in every other country. So watch. So life hits you, and you get hit. You have a life interruption. Sit, settle, cement. One of my good friends is a guy named Robert Downey Jr., and he does movies. And in 1999, another guy that you know that I will not say his name, he's as famous as Robert. I'll see him Wednesday night, but he does not like his name talked about in these type of things because he's a private guy. But Robert says I can do this. So Robert comes to me in 1999. He's in a setback because he's struggling with addiction. And Robert said to me, Tim, the way you help Bam, 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 and he named all these entertainers. He said, I want you to help me. But I want you to help me just to be okay. I said, that's going to be a problem because I don't do okay. How many of you do not want to live in the land of okay? Clap your hands if you refuse. Come on, Salt Lake City. I'm not living in the land of okay. I'm not going to become a discount version of myself. You're not going to find me at Marshall's. Come on, somebody. So Robert says, I want you to just help me be okay. I said, that's going to be difficult. Because I don't just do okay. I don't think okay. Well, how do you think? I think different. I think better. I think more magical. Where's your life going to go this year? Different, better, more magical. Where's your life going to go next year? Different, better, more magical. Where's your life going the year after? Different, better, more magical. Somebody clap your hands like you're going different, better. Come on, people. We don't stay stuck in the stuff that we've been through. Look at all the stuff you've been through, and you showed up in Salt Lake City for this convention. Come on, people. You got something in you that's strong. So I told Robert, we're not living in the land of okay. And so, man, Robert didn't like the way I was working him at first. Because I will work you, yo. Everybody wants to just do things big. No, but there's steps. Number one, you got to sit and learn. Say sit. Number two, watch this, how powerful. You got to sit, and then you got to stand. Say stand. And then you got to walk. Say walk. And then you're going to run. Say run. See, so when you sit, you got to get educated. That's what we're doing here. That's why right out of the airport, I came yesterday, and I listened because I need to learn. I sit and I learn. I watched a Jim Quick 3 podcasts in the last 2 days just to understand it more. I watched 3 of Jesse Itzler just to know more. Natasha, I watched 2 of hers. Now pay attention. I watched more of my friend E.T. Eric Thomas because I want to learn. If you want to get somewhere, I told Robert, you got to sit and you got to learn. He didn't want to sit. He wanted just to run. But no, you got to sit before you run. So you got to sit, you got to learn, you got to sit, and you got to learn, and that's what we're doing here. We're sitting and we're learning. So I began to educate Robert, and I said, Robert, here's how we're going to start. We're going to go back to the movies that you did that you actually enjoyed. And we would watch these movies over and over again, and he would just get stirred up. And all of a sudden, he started crying. He says, holy, my God, Tim, what are you doing to me? I said, I'm taking you back to your innocence. Let me tell you something. Some of you, in the midst of your life interruption, you lost your innocence. Walt Disney stayed innocent. He said, I'm going to build myself an amusement park, but mine's going to be different, better, more magical. In 1955, they opened up Disneyland in Anaheim, California. Everything he said, he did. Everything you say, you're going to do. Why don't you clap by faith like that's actually a possibility? Come on now. Come on, people. Come on, people. Keep clapping like we're actually going to do it. Come on, every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. So I had Robert sit and learn, and then stand in what he learned, and then walk in what he learned. For those that know rap, there was a song called Walk It Out. Eastside, walk it out. Come on, somebody. Walk it out. That's what you're doing when you're doing your job. You're walking it out. Don't feel like going? It's snowing. Come on, somebody, walk it out. It's raining? Come on, somebody, walk it out. Walk it out. Walk it out. Look at me, walk it out. Walk it out. We don't have excuses. We walk it out. People like us don't have excuses. We walk it out. You sit, you stand, you walk, you walk, you walk, you walk it out. Look at me, you walk it out, you walk it out, and the next thing you know, you start to run. Run is a position of passion which very few people have. Now, they don't have it. Oh, they can Instagram about it like, you ain't got no passion. I met you. You can see fire coming out of somebody's eyes. When I see my boy Pharrell Williams, I don't need to ask him how he's doing. I see how he's doing. I just spent 3 days straight with a good friend of mine named P. Diddy. I didn't have to ask Diddy how he's doing. I saw fire in his eyes. When somebody has fire, you can see it coming out of their soul. Clap your hands like you want your fire back. Come on, stir me up. Come on, people. But you got to sit, say sit. Then you got to stand, say stand. Then you got to walk, say walk. See, but everybody wants the quick tips on how do I run? How do I run? I'm ready to run. No, you're ready to sit. And then you're going to stand in what you know. And then you're going to walk it out. It's so good, right? And then you're going to start to run, yo. What? You're going to start to run. It's going to start feeling good. Like, you're going to start to run. How many of you are ready to run in 2022? Come on, clap your hands like you're ready to run. Come on, keep clapping. I love this crowd. Take me there. Pull it out of me. Oh, there's a lot in me. You should pull it out. See, you got to sit, then you got to stand, and then you got to walk, and then you got to run, and very few people ever do this. Soar. Jim Quick, he's soaring. Natasha's soaring. Come on, somebody. Sam Taggart's soaring. Come on, people. Jesse Itzler, he's really soaring. Hi. Wouldn't it suck if you knew you could soar but you were just sitting? Wouldn't it suck if you knew you could soar but you're just barely walking? I'm trying to tell you right now that this year, 2022, it's about to be so good, it's going to be weird. Your life is about to get so good, it's going to be weird. Because you're going to go from believing in miracles, expecting miracles, to receiving miracles. Somebody clap your hands like you're going to start pulling stuff down. Come on. Say sit, stand, walk, run, hey. Is it true you could tell a person that soars? I have a good friend, Oprah Winfrey. We hang out a lot. I'm in her new documentary. Thank you, Oprah. I'm in her new book. Thank you, Oprah. I got 2 new projects coming up with her. Thank you, Oprah. And you know how it is when you go to Oprah's house? You know what it's like, right? When you sit in her backyard? You can feel the energy that comes off this woman. She walks in, and even though we've known each other for years, she's like, yeah, what? Come on, somebody. Hey. She's not even from Compton, and she still walks like that. There's a pace of a soar. There's a posture of a soar. Come on, people. There's a mindset of somebody who soars. I'm trying to get you to get a miracle mentality. Something in your mind that said, I can think extraordinary. I can think supernatural. I can think uncommon. I can think not normal. Because a miracle mentality, watch, can change your whole reality. A miracle mentality can change your whole reality. I said a miracle mentality can change your whole reality. You're about to get out of debt. You're going to get your whole family out of debt. You're going to get your mama out of debt and your father out of debt. Clap your hands like you're about to get a miracle mentality. Man, I love this crowd. I love this crowd. This is better than Spain, London, and Greece. No, you guys are on. There is not one boring person in this whole crowd. So watch this. A miracle isn't possible, Tim Storey. A miracle isn't possible, Tim Storey. A miracle mentality can change. I said we were po. I ain't po no more. I was in the 6th grade, and my teacher, who was white, he said to me, Timmy, listen, this is a good story. Stay after class, I want to talk to you. Watch. And all the students went, ooh. Come on, somebody say it. Ooh. I thought, oh, man, why did he call me out like that? So I come up to Mr. Probert, was his name, and I come up to the white guy who looked like Mr. Rogers. I come up. He says, Timmy, you better pay attention. I'm almost off the stage. I don't talk long. He says, I want to tell you something. I think you are, I don't know what he's going to say. He could have said a lot of things. It was just me and him. He said, I think you are, and I thought, he going to say, a good dancer? Because I won the dance contest. 6th grade. Come on, people. I said, he going to say, you're a good basketball player? Because I noticed he used to come to the games. He going to say something like that. You're a dancer? You're a good dancer or a good basketball? He says, I think you are, watch this, it's about to change my life. He says, I think you are brilliant. I never heard that word about me in my whole life. My mother was too busy raising 5 kids working at Winchell's Donut Shop. Then when my father died, she had to work a shift and a half. She ain't never called me brilliant. Nobody in the neighborhood called me brilliant. This white boy says to me, I think you are brilliant. He branded me brilliant when I was 10. So when he said it, I didn't push it back. I grabbed it and I put it on myself. Clap your hands like, come on. Come on, people. I think, hey, I think you are, say it, brilliant. Whoa. Man, something started happening to me. Look at me. I started walking higher. Even though we couldn't afford Converse and I had like replicas, come on. I wanted Levi's, but we got something like Levi's. Come on. I was still like, what? The white boy called me brilliant. And he says, I got 3 books. And he pulled out what they used to call a briefcase. This is before you guys were born. They had these things called briefcases. And he pulled out a briefcase, and he took out 3 books. And he says, I got 3 books here that I think you might find fascinating. And he put the 3 books out. You got to pay attention. This is about to change my life. He put 3 books out on the desk. And the one that got my attention was a book about the life of Michelangelo, written by a guy named Irving Stone. I'm only in 6th grade, yo. Well, what did I know about Michelangelo? Because even though we were listen to me, we had a TV. But we had a TV that had a hanger in it because you could get better reception. Lift your hands if you understand what I'm talking about. And then some white people, they gave us a TV, but it broke real fast, so we put the little TV on top of what? Okay, that's how you do it in the inner city. I tell you, it stayed that way for like 4 years. We never even fixed it. But I had seen on the TV something about Michelangelo. And so I said to Mr. Probert, I said, I'll take that book. He goes, all right, Timmy, you got to check it out. He was very, very into that stuff. You got to check it out. You got it for only 3 weeks. This is not extra credit. I want you to expand your mind because, once again, I think you are brilliant. He was branding me brilliant at 10. He was branding me brilliant at 10. He was branding me brilliant at 10. He was speaking a miracle mentality into my Compton reality. Somebody clap your hands if you catch this. Come on. Come on. He was, hey, he was speaking a miracle mentality. What's a mentality? A mentality is a frame of mind. See, all of you have a frame of mind about how you think about things. It's a mindset. You've heard it before. Your mindset is yours to set. It's your mindset. What is your mindset for January? What is your mindset for February? What is your mindset for March? Your mindset is yours to set. He set my mindset. He says, Timmy, you are brilliant. Something happened in my life. Several years later, I was now 31 years of age, and I was already, look, Tim Storey. And I was rolling through the LA airport, like, what? That's me carrying my bag. Look at me. I'm carrying my bag. And this very classy Beverly Hills lady was watching me. I sat in first class on my way to Maui. I'm 31 years of age at the time. And I am out there, yo. I'm already coaching the biggest stars in the world. I already have an office on Cannon Drive in Beverly Hills. I'm only 31 years of age. And I'm rolling through the LA airport, and I go into first class, going to Maui. This is very important. And I sit next to a very classy Beverly Hills lady who's in her 70s. It's about to change my life. And she says, young man, what is your name? I said, Tim. She goes, what's your full name? I said, Tim Storey. She said, I was watching you for about 30 minutes as you were walking back and forth in the airport. And you walk as though you walk on clouds. She says, what is your story? I said, miss, I'm just from a regular family, and my father was a steel worker at Bethlehem Steel. He died when I was 10, and I'm a humanitarian. I just love people. And she says, well, Tim Storey, you walk as though you walk on clouds. And she says, what has been your influence? I said, well, I had a teacher when I was in 6th grade named Mr. Probert, and he gave me a book, and it expanded my mind. And it was about this guy named Michelangelo. And I started thinking, if Michelangelo can do it, I can do it. I beg you to hear me. And all of a sudden, she starts crying. So why did she cry when I talked about a book about Michelangelo? And she said, young man, my name is Gene Stone. My husband wrote that book. His name is Irving Stone. He wrote the book that you're talking about. Wasn't by accident. Listen to me. Look at me. It was not by. So many of my cousins are still incarcerated. So many of my cousins are dead. One of my cousins died last year in the streets. One white teacher said, I think you are brilliant. What if I would have pushed it away? What if I would have said, no, I got so much shame, I got too much guilt, I got too many problems, I've had too many setbacks, you don't know where my family comes from. I took what he said and I put it on myself. Some of you need to let life brand you brilliant. I say you are brilliant. Clap your hands like we're catching something today. Come on, people. You say, Tim Storey, what do I need to do? Number one, you need to become awake. Have you ever been driving somewhere and you get there and you wonder how you got there? You better lift your hands. Have you ever been dating somebody for a long time and you're wondering how you're still holding their hand? You're like, this is weird. Yeah, you're like sleep dating. Come on, somebody. You're at a job that's lasted too long. Who's ever had situations like this? You better lift your hands. Come on. So I believe that to have this life that's different, better, and more magical, number one, we have to become awake. Number two, we have to take inventory. Let's go inner city. You got to check yourself before you what? You better, come on, somebody. You better check yourself. You better. Some of you ain't checking yourself. You're like, I'm good. I can drive. Come on, somebody. I'm all right. I'm good. I can drive. I'm okay. No, you gotta become awake. Say awake. You gotta take inventory. Say inventory. See, seriously, you better check. Better check yourself. You better check yourself before you. When I became awake, you know what I decided? I don't want to be po. My mama's not going to be po. So I told my mother when I was 12, I said, Mom, in my mid-20s, you will never worry about money again. Since I was 24, my mother has never worried about money again. Somebody clap your hands and shout a little bit. Come on, humans. So you want to have a miracle mentality? You got to become awake. Secondly, you got to take inventory. Number 3, watch. You got to partner with the right people. Almost done. Woo! When I life coach all these stars, they don't even need to tell me their problems. I just need to look at their friends. I can see their problem. They roll in with their posse. I'm like, we may need to get rid of and Come on, somebody. I don't spend time with negative people. I don't. I got too much to soar about. I'm soaring right now, yo. I can't be like having negative people pull me down. Look, I believe I can fly. Come on, somebody, but someone's holding my leg. I believe I could touch the sky. If I could get these fools off my legs. So you got to become awake, take inventory. Watch, it's good stuff, right? Then you got to partner with the right people. Whew. Look at me. In the book of Proverbs, it says, he that spends time with wise people will stack up more wisdom. But a companion of fools, his life will unravel. So that's why when I got to Beverly Hills and Lee Iacocca, the Richard Branson of his day, said to me at 28 years of age, you teach me about spirituality, I'll train you about business. How many of you know that was a fair swap that lasted all the way to the end of his life when he just died at 94? Clap your hands like that's pretty powerful. Come on, people. You gotta partner with the right people. Thank goodness for Quincy Jones, seeing something in me at 29 and saying, Tim, I'm going to mentor you. You're not getting away from us. You're needed for the culture. You are needed for our people. You are a prophet to our people. You are not getting away. Quincy Jones, you know the money he's poured into me. You know the love that he's poured into me. All the associations. He's the one that went to Oprah and said, you got to team up with Tim. Somebody pay attention. It's not enough to be awake. It's not enough to take inventory. You got to partner with power. You say, well, I don't know Quincy, and I don't know Lee Iacocca, and I don't hang out with Oprah. But you're here, aren't you? You know the power that is in this room right now? Why don't somebody clap your hands like there is power? Somebody stand up and start clapping like we got power in this room. Come on, keep clapping like we got power in this room. Come on, keep clapping like we got power. I don't know if he's not the next Steve Jobs. Come on, somebody. I don't know if he's not the next Jeff Bezos. I don't know if he's not the next Rich Paul who's running all LeBron James's stuff. Look at the power in this place. So good, Tim Storey. Keep it up, Tim Storey. You're doing pretty good here. Stay standing. I'm done in 2 minutes. Watch. You got to become awake. You got to take inventory. You got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. You got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. You got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. You got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Most of the people I coach, they don't check themselves, so they keep wrecking themselves. You got to check yourself. You become awake, you take inventory, watch, and then you got to partner with power. You say, well, I don't know all those people, but you're here. You can read their books. It's good, right? Podcasts, come on, people. TED Talks, it's good, right? Documentaries. You partner with power, and out of the partnership, you get the right principles. You got to have principles. I meditate on principles for an hour and a half every day before I even leave anywhere. I am a machine. I will be this lit tomorrow. I'll be this lit the next day. I'll be this lit the day after. Somebody clap your hands and shout, it is a mindset.
Jesse Itzler wants a handheld and a clicker. Okay.
Say believe.
What did he say?
Expect. Man, you got to start expecting stuff like you expect Amazon packages just because you're Amazon Prime. Come on, people. You order something, you start opening the door every day. Watch, and I close with this. So you guys get ready to come on stage. Watch. You're always looking for your Amazon Prime. Oh, I got Prime, baby. Don't worry. It's Amazon Prime. It's coming tomorrow. And so you just keep opening the door. You keep opening the door. Keep opening the door because you got Amazon Prime. Why don't you have faith like that for your 2022 and start opening the door and looking for Mo? I'm done teaching. Thank you very much.
Hey, yes, let's do Pie Syndicate. Mike, Pie Syndicate.